Hey guys, it's Tessa. So, today we're dealing with some WIPS. If you don't know what a WIP is, it's work in progresses. I just have a bunch of various half-done projects throughout my area here, and I want them done. I also have one of my little mini lists, hopefully to get stuff done if I get through all of my WIPs. I don't know. This is one of the first midweek videos. I don't remember when this is supposed to go up, but doesn't really matter. So, my WIPs. Firstly, we have one I started like an hour and a half ago. It's a scarf guy. If you remember in December, maybe is what it was. I made a scarfy guy out of this yarn. This is the Big Twist Supernova. I made a scarf out of this yarn out of a bunch of scrap cones I had of it. And I really liked it, and so I thought it'd look nice to be worked up using this colorway, which I believe is Starburst. So this is what it's looking like so far. I'm probably about a third of the way through, and it's just your simple granny stitch, so it cruises nicely. I'm also working on, and have mostly completed, a fox beanie. I just need to finish reading in the ends and seaming up the top. I have the first ear seamed so far, not the second ear yet. And then once the edges are, once that top edge is seamed up and all the ends are weaved in, it'll be ready to go. I think I'm gonna make another one of this as well, just so I have a couple with me at the day of the event. And then we also have this cardigan, which I think I'm going to frog partially. All three of the yellow colors are really similar to each other, and so I worry that it just doesn't read super well, and I really feel like it doesn't. So my plan here is to frog back the row or color I'm currently on and use a lighter yellow, I think, just to really break up the contrast. And then after that yellow, I'm going to switch to like an off-white or maybe like a gray color, and then switch into the browns that I'm going to use, because I think that'll look nice. But we're a little under, or a little over halfway through each panel. I'm at row 16, not including the current color we're on. So, 16 of 24. So we're pretty far through actually for each panel. Oh my gosh, English. And then, I do still have that red bolero that I'm working on, the red chain bolero. I don't know where that is right now though, to be completely honest. I put it somewhere. I think it's under my desk, but that's not the point. I also have, you probably saw it in one of the recent videos I posted. It's one of those shawl guys, you know. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, so I want to weave in all the ends on it and then add tassels as well, like I did for the other one. I think my problem was I just wasn't in love with this colorway. Like, it's not my fave, but on the video I posted, it seemed like a lot of you did end up liking this colorway. So I will definitely be finishing this one. I don't know what order in which I'm going to finish these, to be completely honest. This one will probably be the easiest to finish, or the fox beanie, because it's just weaving in ends and adding tassels to that one, but I don't really know. I'm gonna get started on it though, and we'll check in once we get through the first project. Alright, so I didn't really check in yesterday. I wasn't feeling the greatest. I took off most of the day for work because I just really wasn't feeling good, but that came with a little plus of getting some stuff done. Firstly, we finished the fox beanie. To start, I will say I am modifying this pattern. The first time I did, I think I just had looser tension, and I've slowly gotten tighter tension over time, especially when I'm using like yarn held double. Sorry, I can't think today. But especially when I'm holding yarn double, my tension gets really tight. However, I think the pattern's cute. I think the strategy I'm going to come into play with, oh my gosh, I think what I'm going to do is 4 extra stitches lengthwise, because it is pretty short, to be honest. And then also 2 rows here in the middle, so that's a little bit looser. I have a slightly big head, so this is rather tight on me, but I still feel like it's too tight. So I'm only adding 2 rows to both the front and the back, and seeing how a total of 4 rows fits overall. I'll do another draft of it then, but that is the fox beanie. I'm hoping to release this pattern in a like set maybe. Like maybe I'll have a fox beanie, I'll do like a black cat, maybe a calico, and then like a fourth animal, because I can't think of a fourth animal right now. Like a panda or something. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. But that is that guy, and all we've done. I know. But the second project I ended up finishing actually during my lunch break today is the scarf I was working on. I'm starting to think that I probably won't include it in the Halloween drop, just because it is very Valentine-y in my opinion, especially since it is just a series of pinks and purples here. It's just your standard like granny stitch with a picot edge here. It's just a simple little front scarf. You know, simple, easy, nice. And it's using that Supernova, which I believe is like, it's either 100% premium acrylic or it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. Let me grab a skein real quick and I'll find out for sure. I was right, it's the 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So that's fun. This guy's done. I just don't know if I want to include it at the event because it is so stark in color compared to like everything else, because everything else has the like deep red, dark purple, the darker green and orange and all of that. I don't know, I'll think about it, let me know. Next, I started, because for some reason, I just really don't want to deal with this. I think my problem is I just don't know what color I want to make the tassels out of. Like, I think it would be nice to make it out of this second, like a lighter gray color, but I'm worried that that would just pull too much of the color away. I don't really know. I don't have enough of the green left to make those the tassels, and this blue I don't really feel like fits to begin with. I should have used a different shade of blue, but I didn't have one. And I don't have enough of the off-white, and I don't think I want the tassels to be the same color as this last color on the edge here, this purple, but that might work. I don't know, I'll think about it. However, the next project that I've been working on is the cardigan. I ended up frogging not only the lighter gold color, but I also frogged the darker gold color. These tones were just too similar to each other. So instead, I frogged two colors back then on this panel and only one on the other panel. There's a decent like color difference between these two rows and then this top row. Like, it's not super strong here on the camera. It's a little more strong in person. But then the third yellow color I'm gonna use, even more stark in contrast, as it's a really pale yellow. So like, I think that'll work nicely. Really, I just want to use it as a transition color for the browns. And I'm thinking because it's light enough and next to the lightest brown color, it should contrast nicely with each other. But that is what I'm cruising on currently, because I know this is going to take the longest next to the bolero. So I'm just trying to get through this guy. Alright, so firstly, I have new hair. I don't really know how well it reads on camera currently. It's like a silvery-ish color. I don't really know. I literally got it done today. It's almost 6 p.m. Secondly, it's been like 2 weeks since I started this video, and a lot has happened. Firstly, a lot of stuff has been happening at work, like I've kind of been mentioning. Essentially, shit hit the fan in a semi-catastrophic level over the last couple weeks, and it's finally calmed down most of last week, which was nice. Additionally, part of last week, in addition to that last week, I did have a personal thing happen that kind of put me in a little bit of a upsetty spaghetti mindset, but I am trying to like mentally move past it, just because there's nothing I could have really done or can really do about it, and that just is what it is. So my solution to that is going to be working on stuff that I've been meaning to work on. I believe last we spoke, we got through both the, honestly, I don't remember what I filmed last, but we got through the fox beanie and the pink scarfy guy. Got through both of these, so that's fun, fresh, and exciting. I still have part of the cardigan to finish, but I'm not finishing that in this video, and I'm also not going to work on or finish the purple, blue, green shawl thingy. I just don't like it, and I don't want to work on it, so I'm not going to. But as for the cardigan, I did get through adding both the sleeves and doing the cuffs, therefore the cardigan is done. It just needs the ends weaved in, and then it's officially ready to go. I've done like the first half of my product photos as well over the last week, so that's nice. I have all of part 1 of the Halloween release available on my website, so if you want to go check that out, you can. I also mentioned on my social media platforms that the current pricing will stay as is until October 19th. Then for some of the items it'll go up slightly just because it's factored in at in-person pricing versus online pricing, specifically to cover like the shipping materials and things like that. So even when it does go to its normal pricing, it's only going to go up by a couple of dollars for some of the items. Anywho, in the video you guys are going to see next, after this one, so not this one that I'm filming right now, but the following one, I was working on some wristlets and scrunchies for the Halloween event. I've also been talking in that video about how I really hate using my sewing machine. It drives me nuts because it's a pain in my ass. Guess who wants to use their sewing machine right now? I do. So we are going to finish cutting one of the fabrics that I did not end up cutting last time when I was working on it. Get that out. I'm gonna fuse the interfacings, all that jazz, and then I'm just gonna go ham on working on these wristlets and scrunchies. I have a decent chunk of them already cut out. I'm gonna show you. So, as you will see in that video, we have 2 fabrics so far. This is like a brown and white plaid, and then we also have this like reddish plaid. So I have a bunch of wristlets and a bunch of scrunchies for each of these 2 colorways. I have a couple other colorways that I want to do either scrunchies or wristlets or both for. Let me show you. 16 pieces of interfacing left that are pre-cut at the wristlet size. I got all of this interfacing pre-Joann's closing, so I will cry because of course I didn't keep the fucking label, so I don't know exactly what interfacing I purchased. Anyway, so I'm only currently doing 6 of each. I'm currently only doing 6 wristlets of each of the colorways I cut now. That includes I'm having a stroke. That included the ones in the video for next week and all of that jazz. You'll see it next week, or you'll see it at the end of the week. You'll see it at the end of this week. What am I talking about? Anyway. Point is, yeah. So I'm going to cut some more wristlets and scrunchies out of this little acorn fabric. I'm like actually having a stroke right now. I can't talk. My brain is not working. Acorn, me cut acorn.
It's the fascist state not allowing me to do that.
I'm cutting acorn fabric to make acorn scrunchie and acorn wristlet. Acorns. Acorns.
Acorns.
I'm like having
Acorns.
a stroke. Okay. I also have, oh my gosh, now that my stroke is over. I also have a couple of these fat quarters. I have 3 or 2.5 now in this like, what are the words? What is the English for this? It's, oh my God. Why am I having a stroke? What are these called? Herbs. This fabric
You're
is...
smoking that herb.
This fabric is different, like herbs on it and stuff. I think it's really cute. I made like a little money book out of it for the event as well. But I have 2 full ones of this, and then I also have like this little, oh my god, butterfly one. Dude, fully having a stroke here. This little butterfly one as well. And then I have one that...
I thought you were going to say acorn.
And then I have one that I was originally going to use as lining for another bag. And it's just leaves. I think I still might use it for lining for the bag. I don't really know. I have to check the sizing on the bag to make sure it'll work. I don't think it will. I think I'll have to use the brown plaid I showed earlier. Anywho. Calm down. Okay, anywho, I think specifically I'm just going to make scrunchies with these back quarters. Just because, at least for both of these 2 patterns, I don't feel like they'll read well on the wristlets, and I don't want to waste interfacing if I don't have to. So these will just be scrunchies. I think I can probably get like 4 scrunchies out of each one, so that's nice. I do have 2 more fabrics I could use that I really don't want to. I have them purposely locked away because they're going to be meant for a pair of stays I want to make. That's double-sided or reversible, whatever the fuck the word is. And I don't want to deal with that yet. So, right now, what are we doing? I'm cutting acorns, okay? I'm gonna cut the butterfly and the herbs as well. These videos are a fever dream. This video started off really nice and normal, and me being like, let me get through my WIPS, and now it's just a fever dream. Anyway, these 3, me cut these 3 and returned. I'll be back. Okay, so, I still have not completed the scrunchies just because I haven't. We had kind of chaotic weekend that started yesterday with me getting my hair done and then us trying to just do some stupid adult stuff, and it didn't work. And then it turned into, we were originally having D&D today, so that was gonna be fun, and then it had to be canceled because of a bunch of stuff. And then, of course, after it's canceled, and it's today, we for some reason are able to do it again, but we can't because now it's too late to set it up again. Anyway, and then today because I had a rough week, we went to a date. We did a date. Ah! Acorn. Acorn. Because of the rough week I had earlier, my husband and I ended up doing a little date today. We did some fun stuff. I ate pretzels. I got 2 books. But hey, I technically only paid for one of them. Literally, I go up to the counter, okay, and I pay. I'm about to pay for my book, and the guy who's checking us out goes, "Did you see this other book that's like our book of the month? I think you'd really like it." Hands me, and I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it." And then he's like, "Oh, we get it for 50% off," and I was like, "Oh yeah, then fuck yeah, let's get it. Why not, right?" And then my husband's checking out with his stuff, and I read the back of the book the guy hands me, and I'm like, oh my god, it's about vampires. I look over at my husband, and I'm like, oh my god, it's about vampires. Whoa, you know, my favorite thing in the whole world. And then tell me why the teller looks at me and goes, I thought you would like it. To be fair, we go to this place, we go to this Barnes & Noble like 3 times a month, sometimes even more than that. And we usually only go to like 2 different sections of like the manga and the romance fantasy for myself, so yeah. Anywho, I got my 2 books. I'm excited. The other one, I don't remember the name of either of these, to be completely honest. I've looked at them for 30 seconds and then put them on my bookshelf. And then the other one is just like an enemies to lover romance about like a spy squad, kind of. Spec Ops, there you go. It's a Spec Ops spy squad, enemies to lovers romance. And you know me, I love me an enemies to lover. Anyway, not the point here. So I was able to get some stuff done today. I was able to get all the wristlets done, but that was technically not my fault. Sort of. You know how I was concerned about not having enough interfacing or possibly running out or whatever? Well, I ran out of my hardware pieces instead. So that's really fun. I did end up getting 11 wristlets done. I think there's at least 3 in each of the colors, and then I know this brown one here only has 3 because this fabric is awful. to sew over. It just sucks. It's not bueno. I don't like it. So I only did 3 of them in that one, and then, you know, coincidentally I only had 11 pieces of hardware left, so, you know, my bad. So these have also been added along with all of the other ones I made in the video that's coming out next week that you'll see more of. I've added all of those to my website as part of the Halloween collection that dropped today, but you're seeing this in a couple days. But go check that out. My Halloween collection is available. It's part 1 of 2. I've made a ton of stuff so far for the event I have coming up, but I figured I'd list some of it anyway for you guys to get some first picks at some of it. So go check that out. And then the second half of the drop will be available after October 18th. I think it's going to be available on the 19th if I can get everything up in time. But anything that I do not sell at my event will be available on my website, including any plushies or things like that. But go check it out. Also, the scarf I made a couple of videos ago, the like granny square scarf that I made, now has a listing for itself, and it also has a customs option as well. So when you go to checkout, you select the custom version, and then when you're at your cart, you have a special notes information you can put in there, and if you just follow what the listing for the customs says on it, you'll be good to go. But that is, I think this is just where I'm gonna end this video for right now. I have had so much everything happening that I just need a little bit of a break before the big event. And if I don't have a little break before the big event, I might actually like crash the fuck out. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. and I will see you next time. Bye.